We're turning now to the end of the US war in Afghanistan. The Taliban now claiming that it controls 85% of the country. And it comes as US President Joe Biden defends pulling the US out of Afghanistan by the end of August, which is obviously ahead of his initial deadline. He says it is now up to the Afghan people to determine their future, adding the US did not go into Afghanistan to nation build. Well, the US officials say the troop withdrawal is more than 90% complete at this point in time. Well, not everyone in Afghanistan is on board with the rapid US withdrawal. Our Anna Coren has been in Afghanistan for over a week and is getting a sense of the situation on the ground there. She joins us now live. Anna, we have been hearing from Taliban officials in Moscow talking to us about that claim that they now control 85% of Afghanistan. They also said they pose no threat to the greater region. Certainly they didn't talk about the threat they pose to people in Afghanistan, especially women.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? This Taliban delegation meeting with the Russian government in Moscow today, and then giving this press conference, almost presenting itself as this alternate government to what is actually here in Kabul. And you're right, they said they now control 85% of the territory. This is obviously a number that the government denies, but we know that the Taliban has claimed over 160 districts, that they're making sweeping gains across the country. And only today, in the last 24 hours, Lynda, they have claimed a major trading gateway between Afghanistan and Iran, Islam Kala. It's a dry port where millions of dollars worth of fuel and supplies cross between Afghanistan and Iran. I mean, this is a major development, but you know, the fighting continuing as they're presenting this supposed unified front and as an alternate government. During this press conference, Lynda, they also said that they wanted NGOs and humanitarian organisations to continue their operations, that schools and hospitals would remain open. And interestingly, it said that it wanted girls to be educated. Now, I'm not sure anyone is actually really buying that, but at least that's what the delegation, the politicians, if you like, of the Taliban were saying in Moscow today. But, you know, it doesn't really compute, Lynda, particularly when we're seeing these sweeping gains being made across Afghanistan, particularly in the north, which was never a bastion of the Taliban. You know, the heartland of the Taliban is in the south, and yet they are making these sweeping gains and really rattling this country and the government, Lynda.
And Anna, I want to ask you about US President Biden's comments when speaking about the US withdrawal. He spoke about support for Afghans who helped the US, saying that they're not going to be left behind. From those you're speaking to on the ground who are fearful of repercussions, what are they saying to you? How are they reacting to those comments?
Look, I think for those who can apply for a special immigrant visa, they're ecstatic. They see this as their exit strategy out of Afghanistan. We heard from President Biden, whilst he was giving his very forceful speech about, his decision. Given 2,500 of these SIVs out, but only half have taken them up. Certainly the Afghans that I've spoken to today are very much looking forward to being able to get out of this country. President Biden wanting to fast track that process and saying that they will work with third countries yet to be named, where these Afghan interpreters and translators can go with their families to wait whilst these special immigrant visas are processed before moving to the United States. But there are so many people, Lynda, who fall through the cracks, who don't meet the criteria, who have already had their SIVs rejected. We know that 18,000 people have applied. We hear that only 9,000 will actually be processed. So there's a discrepancy there. And, we were speaking to a female government advisor yesterday upon, knowing what President Biden was going to say in his speech. And she said, this is terrible. everybody wants to leave this country. There's going to be a massive brain drain of Afghanistan's, best and brightest because they see no future because of the deteriorating security situation, Linda.
Yeah, some major concerns in the weeks and months ahead. Anna Coren for us in Kabul. Thank you so much.